Hello and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be discussing the news that's just broke. Bob Arum has spoken to Boxing Scene today and revealed that we are likely to get TJ Dehenny, who's going to be fighting Naoya Inoue on September the 9th on a Japan date. Don't know how to feel about this one personally. I'd much rather have seen the Murjan Akhmadaliev fight. MJ, as he's better known. Obviously, he's the very skilled amateur, talented Uzbekistani. 12-1. He's only lost to Marlon Tapales, who obviously went on to fight Inoue after that for the undisputed 122-pound title. I think MJ did have an off night that night against Inoue and against Tapales, I have to say. I think he'd present a much sterner test than TJ Dehenny. Obviously, Dehenny at the back end of his career now, 37 years old. Yes, he hasn't been stopped in his career, but at 26-4, dropping fights to the likes of Michael Conlan. He's also lost to Inoue's IBF mandatory challenger, Sam Goodman, in fairly recent times. I just don't think that fight would last more than 3 or 4 rounds. I really don't. I think Inoue would completely blast through TJ Dehenny quite quickly. I think the MJ fight's a lot more intriguing. It's a lot more competitive, and he's a lot fresher. He's only 29 years old, MJ. He's in his prime, unlike TJ Dehenny. Now, I do understand there are politics in the way of this. There's been WBA problems with Inoue, and Bob Arum sounded off and effectively said that they are willing to walk away from the WBA title after they tried to force the mandatory with MJ. He said it's the same Inoue with 3 belts as he is with 4. Okay, I do understand that from Bob Arum's point of view as well, but as boxing fans, we want to see the best fights. We want to see the best fighters involved in the best fights. The TJ Dehenny fight doesn't do anything for us as boxing fans. Hopefully there can be a resolution put in place and we can see the MJ and Inoue fight in September, but it's looking highly unlikely now. If Bob Arums came out today and said that to Boxing Scene, the likelihood is we are going to get the TJ Dehenny fight. Sam Goodman's fighting on July the 10th. He's, as mentioned, Inoue's IBF mandatory challenger. So he's going to probably be fighting Inoue at the back end of the year. If Inoue fights September, you're probably looking at December, January for that. He could probably then potentially move up to 126 pounds of featherweight. But, after the great fight against Luis Neri, last month, to be coming out and fighting TJ Dehenny and then Sam Goodman at the end of the year, which is a mandatory, obviously, it just doesn't do that much for us as fans, I don't think. Not for any reason at all saying Inoue's duck, and he's not. He's my favourite fighter to watch in the world. I prefer watching him to anybody else, but, it just doesn't feel right seeing the TJ Dehenny fight. I can't get on board with it. I hope something happens, and I hope we do see the Akhmadaliev fight, because that's the fight that is the fight to be seeing right now in boxing in the 122-pound division. Once he beats MJ, if he does, and then beats Sam Goodman, let's see him in the big fights at 126 pounds against the champions. I wouldn't like to see him go up any further than that. So let's see him against Luis Alberto Lopez. Let's see him against Nick Ball. Those kind of fights at 126 pounds would be electric. But, this is by no means concrete. This is just an interview that Bob Arum gave with Boxing Scene. But let me know what you think about a potential TJ Dehenny Naoya Inoue fight in Japan. The reason given as to why Dehenny will be getting that fight is because he fights in Japan and he's a popular name in Japan. That's where I can't really get on board with, because Inoue would sell out any arena in Japan. It doesn't matter if he's fighting TJ Dehenny or MJ in that fight. He can sell out any arena. So I don't really feel like that's a valid reason just because of a namesake. Inoue is going to sell the tickets and it's going to do the worldwide global buys in any case. So strange reasoning for me given for that. But let me know in the comments. Please get involved, guys, on what you think about TJ Dehenny potentially fighting Naoya Inoue on September the 9th in Japan.